talk that we've got on the ecology of energy from 2019, I think we had a slide in there that had the original picture of the internet. And it's like, you see Santa Barbara, Stanford, I think it was Harvard or MIT over on the East Coast, and then it had Hawaii. And there were like, and a couple more, and there were like 6 nodes in the internet. That's where the internet was, ARPANET at that time. That's where it came from. And it was a military setup, military/university setup. And then what was really interesting is that it started to build out. I mean, the first one was the cable out to Hawaii to, through the telephone system, so that Hawaii had a node as well. Okay, that's kind of like the first overseas version. And then the cables got laid, and slowly but surely the internet grew. And that was if I'm not incorrect, I think it was 1973. So, and that was Tim Berners-Lee and Vint Cerf building out this thing. And what was cool about seeing that, and why we bring this up sometimes, is that it was only 6 or 7 nodes. It wasn't very big. It was just those things. And they were trying to do something super simple, send a picture from one place to another down a telephone line. And I think what's interesting here, and how when the internet turned into a revolution, there's a couple of good reasons. Well, firstly, a lot more nodes appeared because it became more organic to set up a node and enable that to happen. Compute power got easier, of course. But the bit that really hit us hard was Vint Cerf's quote, which was, "To unleash the power of the internet, you have to make it free." That was, I think, that paraphrase it maybe, but that was pretty much his quote. And what was really cool about that is that there was that whole war about this information superhighway, which is proprietary, and then there was the internet, the TCP/IP, which is open source. And I think that's where I might compare what we're trying to do here, is that there are lots of different people trying to do sort of more or less similar things, and there's just different ways of doing it. But I think the fact that we've started with a few nodes on decentralization, obviously a lot more. With Holochain and with IOEN, we have many, many, many nodes, because any device can be a validation node if it wants to be, and it can start from the ground up, and that's really cool. So I think what we're saying here is that the comparison is, yeah, okay, the more nodes you've got, the better the structure. And Metcalfe's law may or may not, be real. It seems to work with the internet. It seems to work with that as a kind of proxy, and it probably will work with this as well. But the key bit is more nodes equal a more powerful system. And our nodes aren't, they aren't nodes that hold global consensus. These are nodes that work in a holochain system and enable them to communicate with each other without having to refer to a global consensus. And so we get a much more frictionless system. And then the second part is open sourcing the Internet of Energy Protocol. So it's like TCP/IP. That's what we want it to be. And people will build stuff on it that we could never have imagined. Amazing energy programs and applications and other things that work locally or work for someone else on the other side of the world that they've never met, that they can give to them or sell to them or do something on the protocol. I think that's, we couldn't imagine, Vint Cerf, Tim Berners-Lee couldn't imagine what the internet would do. And so we can't imagine what this will do, but I think that's where a nice analogy sits for it.